Hello everyone and welcome to the inaugural HBL Pakistan Fintech Summit, very first HBL Pakistan Fintech Challenge. Thank you for tuning in on behalf of the host, State Bank of Pakistan. It's my pleasure to be your host for today. My name is Nahil Hanna, Global Head of Innovation at Unbound. We are proud to support the Pakistan Fintech Summit as our belief is to bridge together the ecosystems. I would like also to thank our community partners, Karandaaz, Fintech Association of Hong Kong, MENA Fintech Association, and Fintech Abu Dhabi. Pakistan Fintech Summit could not have made today happen without you. Now, we are going to travel virtually to the United Kingdom and Hong Kong to hear from the co-founder of Hubex, Axel Koster, the premier capital raising and private placement solution startup, followed by LVLFI Alexander Devoto, an insurtech that helps insurers with their customer engagement and wellness. And last but not least, from Hong Kong, David Lee, the president of Privé Technologies, a leading innovator in the financial and wealth management industries. The challenge highlights Pakistan's rising fintech opportunity and access to the market. The winners will be given a chance to be also part of the Fintech Abu Dhabi 2021, and the top startups will be invited to participate with their Fintech 100 initiatives, one of the world's most important founder and investor gathering happening in November. Now, let's meet the judges. We have with us today Abrar Mir, Chief Digital and Financial Inclusion Officer, HBL, Aatif Awan, Managing Director and Founder, Indus Valley Capital, Rehan Akhtar, CDO, Karandaaz, Asif Saleem, Senior Director, Oracle. Once we have heard from all of our startups and had the judges Q&A, we will be sending the judges off to deliberate. So, without further ado, let's hear from Axel.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. I'll try to be brief. Just to introduce Hubex. So we build technology to help large organizations, banks, exchanges, brokerage firms organize their private capital raising activities from book building to close. And we integrate with their core legacy systems or external systems through API to make that happen. It's a single platform solution that moves away from deal by deal execution to helping organize the network across teams, countries, asset classes. It allows banks, exchanges, and other financial institutions to consolidate all of their data, all of their processes dynamically. So we were founded by a team of capital markets professionals. I personally worked for about 10 years in capital markets in London at Goldman Sachs, BNP Paribas, and Barclays. Helped raise about 15 billion for large corporates in the public markets. And the rest of the team comes from trading and treasury. We're backed by the London Stock Exchange Group, by Barclays and institutional investors, and some of our individual investors are active in the market, including John Winter, who's CEO of MUFG in EMEA. So our challenges, if we look at, and many of the themes today that have been discussed around inclusion and around the impact of digitization are very relevant in our field. But we focus on investment banking and on corporate banking and syndicated lending. And when you think about how transactions are managed in private today, it's essentially very manual, and little has changed over the last 30 years. So a lot of those manual processes are manual, relying on email. Only very few transactions are actually leveraging book building and data rooms efficiently. There's no common framework to share opportunities between divisions, respecting Chinese walls, or between institutions, let alone across geographies. And yet we have a backdrop today where banks are increasingly under pressure to collaborate, moving to originate to distribute as a model to manage their balance sheets more efficiently. And deals are leading to more and more participants. So it's common to see 1,500 lenders in a large transaction today. So we have 3 solutions today and a 4th one coming. Our main solutions are the ones on the left. We launched the Advisor solution, which is a private placement platform, which is leveraged by the London Stock Exchange, soon to be Euronext, for all of their private capital division. And it's used by investment banks and brokerage firms. Our syndicated lending solution is going live now, and it's going to be launched with half a dozen of tier 1 banks. And we work in partnership with Finastra for that. Finastra effectively helps support around 72% of the back office processing of loans around the world. So 90% of the biggest banks in the world are their clients. We've launched a company solution for the entrepreneurs to manage their own capital raise and connect into the other solutions. And we've worked with Barclays around that. And we'll be launching a solution for the investor perspective soon. Our opportunity is the intersection between private capital and enterprise software. And today we see roughly $5.5 trillion raised in private capital. I'll stop soon, but syndicated lending is about 90% of that. Today, in the current market, there's increasing pressure to digitize, and COVID-19 is a huge opportunity for us as an organization. We help solve the buy versus build dilemma. We help banks internalize their data and connect it dynamically with their front office and back office. We provide a neutral marketplace to allow them to collaborate, and we're connected via APIs to facilitate end-to-end execution, something that's never been possible for banks, for example, in syndicated lending. Our team is 35 today and growing fast. And our growth path is to deploy platforms to gradually build a network across asset classes, to connect more APIs and data, and ultimately launch marketplaces across these activities in a neutral way. I'll stop there. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and happy to take questions.
Thank you, Asif. I know it's not easy to compile all these achievements. Thank you, judges, and welcome. So please, the floor is yours. You have 2 minutes if you have any questions to Axel.
Have you looked at the Pakistan market or the regulatory environment and other, kind of rules and regulations that are generally applicable to these kind of transactions, and try to do some assessment of how your platform fits into that environment today?
Yeah, so we approach things from a software perspective. So if you look at, and we facilitate, our clients are typically regulated. So we offer white label solutions for them to organize and provide and deploy infrastructure to connect their systems and to collaborate with their partners. So the framework within Pakistan is very similar when it comes to private capital to the rest of the world. And the way that banks work is also very similar. So the tools that we develop are agnostic in terms of regulatory framework. Having said that, we're regulated in the UK under the FCA framework, and everything is built around satisfying constraints around, whether it's GDPR, Chinese walls, whether it's making sure that we separate between the roles of arranging transactions and introducing capital. And this is why we have separated platforms, so that we can ring fence data and ownership, but still allow joint book building between participants. So the approach that we're taking is just as relevant in Pakistan as it is in the UK. And we're also actively exploring rolling things out from in the Middle East at present with some potential partners. So we see great potential. I mean, everything we're talking around, the impact of COVID and inclusion is just as relevant for businesses and how they access loans. And that's a trickle-down effect from the inefficiencies at the banking level and at the financial system level. So that's where we position ourselves, and we see a massive impact. I mean, if you think about the $5.5 trillion raised every year, I was mentioning 90% of that is syndicated lending. Only about 15% of all deals in syndicated lending leveraging a platform. That means the rest is manual. So a lot of emails, a lot of faxes. So we talk about blockchain and the impact of that. And that's also just as relevant in Pakistan. But we see our solution connecting into those kind of solutions to extend them.
What kind of deployment models do you have available? Are you primarily a SaaS solution, or you have on-prem solutions as well?
So we handle 3 types of scenarios. One is a shared architecture framework for the smaller clients. One is a private cloud deployment, and one is on-prem. So we handle all of those scenarios. So in our work with Finastra, they are a reseller of our technology. So actually they're launching Finastra front office powered by Hubex. So it means that the banks don't need to engage with us. There's no need for supplier onboarding. Any client of Finastra's can switch on our solution effectively and deploy it however it fits with their organization.
Let's move to the next startups. LVLFI, Alexander, over to you.
All right, good start. So my name is Alex Devoto. The company's called Levelfi. And with Levelfi, if I can press the button correctly, the problem we held here was customer engagement. So how do you as a bank, how do you as an insurer engage your customers, right? As fun as we think banking and insurance might be, unfortunately, some of our customers don't think the same thing. So how do you actually get those customers to engage, to go to your website, to use your app, and to build that kind of brand loyalty? And by building brand loyalty and building trust in your institution from your customers, you can increase cross sales. And that's because the market, sort of, especially for life insurance in Pakistan, is growing. So regionally, Pakistan has particularly low sales, cross sales of life insurance, but it's growing fast. So the question is, how can you kind of increase your share of that market and make sort of outsized returns and some very good returns on the premiums that people get, the life insurance companies get within Pakistan. So this is sort of how, I can rest, there you go. This is kind of how insurance used to be sold, the old way of selling life insurance in Pakistan, right? Some of you guys might remember this advert. Apparently it's quite famous. So that's sort of the old way of doing it. And we're going to want to upgrade your, let me, if I can go to the next one, sorry. Here we go. Here's, finally, let's get the slides working, it's always helpful. So the idea is here, we want to upgrade your offering, right? Give you a full digital solution where you can offer people a platform of apps and games, which is fun and exciting and engaging for your customers. So you can engage your customers with a wellness platform and get them to actually sort of like you, to make them a bit healthier. And by doing that, you can then cross-sell them insurance. And that's the key, is you can actually increase your average revenue per user, your ARPU up, by sort of engaging your customers more to lower your churn, number one, and two, increase your cross sales. So let's go. So here's the thing. So if you offer people kind of games and prizes and rewards and a reason for coming into your app and a reason to come into your website, they're going to engage with you more. You're going to create that sort of better brand loyalty. So with that, you're going to lower your churn, which is going to be helpful for you. And you'll be able to have the ability to cross-sell. So if you give people an app, they can download it. You can get their data. You can get their steps data, which is amalgamous to their health. And from their health, you can work out who, like from filtering, who you might sell health and life insurance to. So it's a way of increasing your bank insurance and increasing that average revenue per user by getting more data from your users and be able to have better, more digital touch points. You can really get involved with your users, with your customers, create that sort of better brand loyalty and better brand relationship. That's hopefully 2 minutes down.
So judges, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I have a question. How is this engagement done? Is it a standalone app or will it be offered through the bank's own app?
Either way. So we're a white label solution. So either you can roll it out as it's ready to go as a standalone app, or alternatively, we can sort of be within your current app, and we can customize it and change the colors and obviously language to be part of an existing app as well. So we appreciate that you may not want your customers to download 2 different types of apps, so we can sit within your app as well. But the idea is it's sort of more fun. We're going to use a lot of gamification, a lot of behavioral economics to kind of give someone a reason to actually turn up to your app apart from they have to use it. It's often those prizes. And
do you have any statistics on the conversion ratio?
Yeah, so with our sort of current trials with insurers in the US, we have about a 55% download rate, and we managed to increase on the step side. So we were originally working with health insurers to increase steps, increase wellness. You can obviously see the sort of implications for life insurance. We increased in the majority obese population. We increased the average steps by 19% over an 8-month trial period. So we can kind of show increased both engagement and people opening the app. We have about a 30% continuous open of the app after 8 months. And we have sort of people actually using the app and playing the app and sort of doing what we want to do. So we're kind of showing the ability to get people to do what we want to do in terms of what the client's asking for.
Alex, can you share a little bit about your team?
Yeah, so there's 11 people in total, 6 part-time, 5 of us full-time. We sort of launched this app about a year ago. We have around 10,000 users. So we're sort of relatively happy with that. It's been working. We work with several sort of large Fortune 100 companies in the US and in the UK. So we're kind of happy with sort of how it works, and our customers are happy. They keep on giving us money, which is always nice. So we're kind of ready, but we're sort of ready to be spread out in terms of the team.
Thank you.
So is there a particular pain point that you thought of and you identified that your solution addresses for the banks or for the insurance companies?
Yeah, so I think the pain point is how do you engage the customers? So just because you have a website or have an app as a bank or as an insurer doesn't mean that your customers, your clients, are actually going to download it or use it. So if you can increase the sort of digital touch points, actually increase how you engage with your customers and offer them things like prizes and rewards and make it actually fun and interesting for the customer to open up your app or go to your website, that's going to increase that brand loyalty. So I think it's the pain point we're looking at is how do you create a better brand relationship to lower your churn and have more people using your app. And then off the sort of back of that, when you have that trust, you have the ability to digitally in-app, without any sort of human interaction, have people be able to sort of cross-sell health and life insurance to your existing customers. So you can try and raise your revenues that way as well.
So our last startups is Privé Technologies from Hong Kong. David Lee, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. At Privé Technologies, I think when you think of us, we'd like you to think of Lego blocks and Lego boxes. I know that people have played it with them when they were kids, and it's blocks that can make whatever you want, including airplane, a building, a castle, even a car. And at Privé, we've taken the inspiration from Legos and applied it to wealth management. Now, how have we done this? We've done this through addressing the problem statement of wealth management cannot be for everyone. And why do people say this? First of all, personalized banking is expensive because it's manual. As a result, wealth management is not widely accessible. But on the other hand, digital transformation for banks is not that easy either. So what we've done is we've created plug and play building blocks that can be assembled just like Legos, you can see on the left-hand side. And our clients, which are B2B enterprise banks and financial institutions, they use these blocks to create customized solutions and journeys for their own clients. And the response has been tremendous. With over 75 institutional clients, we've spread our wings in 16 countries across the globe, and in Europe and in the UK, as well as in Hong Kong, with our team here. We've also leveraged our partnerships, our investors at Credit Suisse in Zurich, along with Samsung Electronics in Korea, to build a system which we believe is called a bank in a box. And this bank in a box technology enables us to provide this digitized service to everyone. So with that in mind, let me show you the newest box that we built for Samsung. And here you can see on that Samsung Bixby, which is their version of Siri, you can see that my dashboard shows my portfolio. It shows me also the tasks that can be updated. And I can also ask a question to Bixby. I can say, Bixby, can you please help me become a millionaire? And Bixby says, yes, it'll take you 12 years, David, but I don't want to wait that long. So I ask it to make it 10 years. So then Bixby goes back and says, okay, well then if you want to be a millionaire in 10 years, you need to buy more funds. So I think about it and I say, that sounds pretty reasonable. So, okay, let's do it. Bixby shows me 3 funds, out of which I can choose the first one. The first one has exposure to Alibaba. I don't know much about Alibaba, so I ask it to tell me more about Alibaba. Then Bixby shows me the information that I need to create and make an investment decision, after which I say, okay, let's buy the fund. Bixby then shows me a pre and post portfolio along with the trades. It also asks me what type of broker I want to use. It can be HSBC. I say yes. And in this case, what happens is it shows and it emails something to my broker, my advisor, and maybe gives me a call to make sure that the trade's confirmed. In a span of 2 minutes, I've taken something that's in the palm of your hand as an assistant and made wealth management into a conversation. Thank you very much. My name is David, and we are Privé. Thank you for listening to our story.
David, this is super interesting. What's your revenue model? Are you charging, like per API call? Are you charging per client?
Yes, sir. So the revenue model is a SaaS model with an implementation cost and a regular subscription fee. So for us, we have a services upfront fee, and then of course after that, then it's then it's an annualized fee, which is repeated and increased after a couple of years.
Okay, and that scales with the number of clients. So if you have a larger customer
Yes,
base.
sir.
Okay.
Exactly. And also you have to note that as the wealth management platform gets larger and more complicated, you need to add more products, you need to add more options, you need to add more journeys, and therefore the inherent system becomes much more robust, and therefore the revenue model becomes much more justified.
Yeah, thanks.
Is your app connected with the other institutions as well, or just advisory? So if I make a decision to purchase something, will it also enable me to purchase?
Yes, sir, that's correct. That's the whole aspect of it. We're a bank in a box. So in other words, what we want to do is to enable banks that hold large amounts of deposits in which their clients are doing nothing, and applying and enabling them to add on to their core banking system, whether it's Avaloq, AS400, whatever it is, and create themselves a digital private bank, much like a Credit Suisse or UBS, which then monetizes their clients without any further infrastructure costs. BPO is all done on that realm, and of course we have all the operations back office to be done as well.
Hi, David. Asif here. Which core banking solutions have you integrated well thus far? I heard Avaloq, but other than Avaloq, which one are they?
Yeah, so Temenos would be one. We've also integrated with sort of archaic ones like AS400, also very local ones as well. We are a cloud deployed solution, so we are multi-cloud deployable. So we deploy also on Google, on Azure, on Amazon mostly, and also on Ali Cloud.
Got it.
So hi, David, Abrar here. Are you cloud only, or you also offer on-prem? And second, is it offered as a white label solution?
Yes, sir. So the answer is yes for both questions. So we can do on-prem and cloud, but as you know, Abrar, the difference between cloud and on-prem, I think the costs are enormous, along with the fact that you're sort of defeating the whole purpose of getting this, because then you have to have your own IT people monitoring the system on your premises. And then the second thing essentially is, yes, it's white label. So we offer this to another client, which is public, aside from Credit Suisse, which is Citi. So we offer this in 13 countries, 7 different languages across 3 continents, including the Middle East.
Okay, that brings us to the conclusion of our pitches. So judges, now we're gonna send you to deliberate. You can go to the backstage to deliberate. Who will it be? Hubex, LFI, or Privé Technologies? I would like to mention that the tour is an integral part of the Pakistan Fintech Summit. The summit will tell stories of how technology is disrupting one of the most important aspects of our society, finance. The festival hosts a group of founders from many leaders, experts, unicorn, and scale-up tech companies, executives from around the world, discussing things like the futures of payment, digital banking, AI, blockchain, investments, and regulation. We hope you will save the date to join us, as we are planning quite a show. So it's time to find out who the winners are. So as we noticed, the standard was very high. So the three startups were chosen to move forward with us. So congratulations. Now that brings us to the end of the show. That's all from me. We will be back with the next stop, where we will travel to MENA and Turkey to search for and meet the greatest fintech startups in the region. It's been my pleasure to be your host for today. On behalf of myself, Nahil Hanna, and the State Bank of Pakistan, HBL, and our ecosystem partners, thank you for joining, and we'll see you soon.